last week when it came to the UnitedHealthcare CEO case, the scandal that was a lone gunman came out to basically kill a CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, and has become this large investigation, become this like cultivating story for the past couple of days. Well, turns out they found the suspect, this Luigi Mangione, and his brother Mario. Sounds less like an assassin, more like a guy who's gonna offer me Parmigiana. Suspect in United Healthcare a CEO case charged with murder. This is from Global News reporting this. And this is what the guy looks like. So on the right, there's his mugshot. And on the left, there is, I'm guessing, a Facebook photo or maybe his Tinder profile. He's definitely trying to impress someone, that's for sure. He's definitely trying to impress the ladies out there. So calm down. Keep your pants on. Or maybe the guys, I don't discourage. Luigi Mangione, the man arrested in connection with the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is expected to fight extradition to New York, where he was been charged with murder. Speaking with reporters on Tuesday evening, following a court appearance earlier that afternoon, defense lawyer Thomas Dickey, that's right, Dickey, said he had advised his client Mangione to not waive extradition and to plead not guilty to charges he faces in Pennsylvania and New York. I haven't seen any evidence that says he's the shooter, he said. The fundamental concept of American justice is the presumption of innocence until you're proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And I've seen zero evidence at that point. Prior to Tuesday's hearing, video showed Mangione in an orange jumpsuit as he was led into the court building. As he walked, he spun towards reporters and, according to the Associated Press, shouted something partly unintelligible, referring to an insult to the intelligence of the African people as deputies pushed him inside, or to the American people. Dickey said he was requested at additional hearing on the extradition request. Mangione's next court appearance on the Pennsylvania charges is scheduled for December 23rd, according to an outlined court calendar. According to the Associated Press, an online court docket shows Mangione has been charged with murder in New York, which was filed late Monday evening. However, that docket was no longer publicly available Tuesday, and Dickey said he was not aware of any charges out of New York. Mangione was denied bail at his initial court appearance Monday evening after prosecutors raised concerns about public safety and a potential flight risk. He is being held in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested after authorities said a McDonald's employee in Altoona recognized him and contacted police. So this is where the story gets a little weird. I mean, this guy is obviously a very kind of bright individual. This is just walk the streets of Manhattan and just point the gun fired. This is obviously someone who planned it out. But I'm surprised he planned it to the point that he's going to go to McDonald's in Pennsylvania. This is where my mind goes a little funky on this, where I get a little, suspicious. The 26-year-old Maryland-born man was originally charged by local police on Monday for possession of an unlicensed firearm, forgery, and providing false identification to police following his arrest at McDonald's. Prosecutors are beginning to take steps into trying to bring Mangione back to New York to face the murder charge. When police investigated the call by the McDonald's employee and approached Mangione, Altoona Police Deputy Chief Derek Swoop said they immediately recognized him as the suspect in New York City shooting after he was asked to remove his face mask in the restaurant. The suspect didn't have to say a lot after the question to show that he was very nervous at that point, Swoop told reporters Monday evening after Mangione has been obtained. According to a Pennsylvania criminal complaint, Mangione was found to be wearing a blue medical mask and looking at a laptop when police located him sitting at the back of the restaurant. Again, this is I find this very suspicious. He initially gave them a fake ID. The complaint says that, but he became quiet and started to shake when an officer asked him if he had visited New York recently. Early on Monday, New York City Police Chief Jessica Tisch said Mangione had been carrying a gun like the one used to kill Thompson and the same faked ID the shooter used to check into a New York City hostel prior to the shooting, along with a passport and other fraudulent IDs. There also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said in the Monday press conference that Mangione had a ghost gun in his possession that could be fired at 9mm round, as well as a suppressor, both of which police said were consistent with the weapons used in the shooting. It's believed the gun was 3D printed. He also was found with a 3-page handwritten document that officials on Monday said speaks to both his motivation and mindset. So they're talking about his manifesto. Kenney said on Monday that Mangione was born and raised in Maryland. He said the 26-year-old also has connections to San Francisco and Honolulu, the latter of which was known to his last known address. Brian Thompson, 50 years old, was killed last Wednesday in what police say was a brazen targeted attack as he walked alone to the Hilton from a nearby hotel where UnitedHealthcare's parent company, UnitedHealth Group, was holding its annual investor conference. Police said the shooter appeared to be lying in wait for several minutes before approaching Thompson from behind and opening fire. The 9mm pistol used, police said, resembles the guns farmers use to put down animals without causing a loud noise. The shooting set off a days-long manhunt for the suspect, with police releasing a collection of photos and video, including footage of the attack and images of a person of interest at a Starbucks before the shooting, in the hopes the public could help locate the shooter. Photos from the lobby of the hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side showed the person police called a suspect in the investigation grinning after removing his mask, according to police. The shooter left various evidence in New York despite having obscured his face in the shooting, including a backpack he ditched in Central Park, a cell phone found in a pedestrian plaza, a water bottle, and a protein bar wrapper. Okay, anyway, I'm just getting more suspicious of this. The Associated Press and other media outlets have reported that Mangione is the grandson of a wealthy self-made real estate developer and philanthropist, and cousin of a current Maryland state legislator. Now my eyebrows are really raised in this. Come on. This has got to, there's got to be more of this. He was valedictorian at an elite Baltimore prep school where he lauded his classmates' incredible courage to explore the unknown and try new things in his 2016 graduation speech. He earned undergraduate and graduate degrees in computer science in 2020 from the University of Pennsylvania, a spokesperson for the school confirmed to the Associated Press. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest, Mangione's family said in a statement posted on social media late Monday by his cousin, Maryland lawmaker Nino Mangione. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. He also worked for a time for the car buying website TrueCar and left in 2023, CEO Jatoon Riegersman said in an email. From January to June 2022, Mangione lived at Surfbreak, a co-living space at the edge of the touristy Waikiki in Honolulu. Like other residents of the shared penthouse catering to remote workers, Mangione underwent a background check, said Josiah Ryan, a spokesperson for owner and founder of RJ Martin. At Surfbreak, Martin learned Mangione had severe back pain from childhood that interfered with many aspects of his life, from surfing to romance, Ryan said. He went surfing with RJ once, but it wouldn't work out because of his back, Ryan said. But know that Mangione and Martin often went together to a rock climbing gym. Mangione left Star Surf Break to get surgery on the mainland, Ryan said, then later returned to Honolulu in a rented apartment. Martin stopped hearing from Mangione 6 months to a year. Okay, so this is a very interesting case. This is a very, very interesting case. And it's not so black and white as people want to believe. And you're going to see responses of why people think that. But a lot of people have been adding these interesting facts, these interesting notations, because there's a lot of information on this guy. This guy seems to be a very clever kid. This is, again, not some rando in New York City that just walked down Manhattan, took out a gun, and just opened fire, and it happened to be the CEO. Like, this was definitely detailed out. And it's just suspicious to me that this 26-year-old was able to go to Manhattan, figure out where Brian Thompson was, able to assassinate him, throw a backpack with his manifesto on it, and was able to go from there, from the center of Manhattan, all the way to Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania, to a McDonald's where he got captured. It just, that to me is the mind-boggling part. That to me is the thing that doesn't make sense. But here's what this guy, Taco, adds to this conversation. He says, friends that went to the high school with Luigi Mangione said, what keeps coming up is a back surgery that changed everything for him, and he went absolutely crazy. This checks out with his Goodreads history and an x-ray in his header on X. And you can see there's the x-ray, and there's a list of books, one of them being Crooked, Outwitting the Back Pain Industry, and Getting on In. And also Back Mechanic by Stuart McGill. He is an avid reader with 295 books listed on Goodreads. Academically, he holds both a master's and a bachelor's degree in computer science from the University of Pennsylvania. Additionally, he gained recognition as valedictorian of Gilman School in Baltimore, showcasing his academic excellence. His work includes contributions to machine learning and robotics, as evidenced by his project on GitHub. So here is a snapshot someone did of one of his Goodreads articles, or I guess a review, because it's reviewing the book. So one of them being this book here, Industrial Society and Its Future, by Theodore John Krasinski. And you notice that some of the things are highlighted. There's Luigi Mangione, rated the book 4 stars out of 5. And you notice that certain things are highlighted here. And what's interesting is that the things highlighted here are exactly identical to what the manifesto said about killing Brian Thompson. So, for example, this line here, when all other forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive. Why we should have any qualms about burning them down to survive. Violence never solved anything is a statement uttered by cowards and predators. So that language, that theme from that book that he's quoting right there is very eerily similar to exactly the manifesto that he planned out to carry out this assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. So this kid knew what he was doing. This kid definitely knew what he was doing. And it just seems way too suspicious. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't want to put my foot onto the wagon or go to complete assumptions without knowing all the facts. But it just seems way too convenient to have all this information, to know about his academic background, to know that this guy is really, really smart, and it was able to get away for the assassination of the CEO, Brian Thompson, and was able to get away from the middle of Manhattan all the way to Pennsylvania. That's a fairly long distance. And they don't mention about, transportation. All we know is that in the video that they're highlighting there, he got off on an e-bike. And I can tell you that an e-bike will definitely not take you from Manhattan all the way to the other side of Pennsylvania in an instant. So there's a lot of things wrong with this scenario. There's a lot of things that raise my eyebrows. But there is some opportunistic good news, as according to Newsweek here. There's the photo of Brian Thompson, and Newsweek pointed out that conservatives and liberals find rare agreement amid assurance CEO killing. Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, just in time for the holiday season. As we're getting further and further divided, we could find that Yuletide spirit and all agreeing that insurance companies suck. That just warms my heart. What's such sentiment that we have right now that conservatives and liberals can all agree that healthcare insurance companies like UnitedHealthcare, like the others that they're dealing, like Blue Cross Blue Shield, all these insurance companies are just absolute atrocious. And they are just monsters. They are vile. They are mafia men. And if anyone's ever had to deal with them, I feel so sorry for you. I don't know that kind of situation. Like, we're fortunate enough here in Canada that we have universal basic coverage. And God knows that no Canadian, regardless of how they feel about healthcare, no Canadian would be willing to switch and opt out into the American system. Because, oh my God, hearing the horror stories is just absolutely mind-boggling. It is actually just demonic. It's crazy. It's cringeworthy. It's disgusting. The amount of abuse and stories and rhetoric that you hear constantly about this. So here, for example, this chart, this is why conservatives and liberals are gathering together and uniting on this. Maybe it's because the health insurance claims and the amount of denials that they constantly get. So they have a list here. And look who's on top there. UnitedHealthcare with 33% in denial rates just in 2024 alone. 33%, the highest out of all the other providers in 2024 alone. And that's in network. Health insurance claims in network that are being denied. And look at all of them. 33%, 28%, 27%. And you notice it goes all the way down. And the lowest one they have is Kaiser with 6%. What a huge jump to go from 6%, which I may say color that in green. I guess that's supposed to be happy. Like, oh, well, we still deny people, but it's a lesser rate. So be happy. To 33%. So you kind of get the picture of why people are angered at United Health, why they're angered at someone like Brian Thompson, and you'll see later on the kind of reaction, the mixed reaction of the assassination. And you see why people can unite on this issue and understand. Maybe they don't agree that he should have been murdered, but they agree that UnitedHealthcare is an atrocious organization, that they undervalued the means of protecting people with healthcare purposely because they are soulless goons out there to deny healthcare for people, and it's just an absolute atrocity to Americans. And that's across the board, no matter if you're conservative or liberal. Anyone that knows a thing or two about dealing with healthcare insurance companies like these ones here, I feel genuinely sorry for you. I feel so bad that nobody has to go through this. No one should be forced to go through this. And it's amazing that even after all this, even after here in 2024, hearing all the stories, there are still people, there are still politicians that won't even mention the words public option, which means you can buy into a form of, say, Medicare, which is the most popular healthcare program in America, which is why they want to expand it to everybody so that everybody gets basic coverage. And then if you want extensive coverage, sure, you can go into these private insurers and gamble on your life. But because so many people that pay into this get denied instantly by these ghoulish monsters, they feel the anger. They feel the anguish of Luigi Mangione, and that's why they're celebrating this. That's why they're celebrating this. It's not the celebration of manslaughter or murder. It's the celebration of the fact that this is a visual representation of all the built-up anger of so many people dealing with healthcare in America.